How you doing? It's Fred Ward checking in with another episode of Count Time Now. I am excited today. Well, I'm also pissed off too. But I'm excited because I got Pete from Policy Matters here with me. We've been working on some stuff. And I got a dear friend of mine, Russell, that's I've been knowing for a long time. Great guy, right? Amazing chef that, I seen him a couple of days ago, and he told me something that was very disturbing, not only to him, but to me, and it's been part of the work that me and Pete been talking about. So today I wanted to bring Pete on, and I wanted Russell, right? You can introduce yourself, give them a little bit about yourself, and then I want you to actually tell them about this collateral sanction, collateral consequence, which we about to reframe, right, to permanent punishments, because that's exactly what it is. But why don't we just take a minute and just introduce each other, and then I'll let you get into the story. Pete, you want to start off?
Sure, yeah. Background? Hey, thanks, Fred, for having me on, and great to be here. But yeah, my name is Pete VanLeer. I'm a researcher with Policy Matters, and a big part of what I've been doing is working with BFO on this survey and a lot of other stuff around public safety and collateral sanctions or permanent punishment.
Yeah, right.
Which is
we're going to reframe that now.
Great way to talk about it. Yeah, it's really a big impact and showing the impact on people.
Yeah.
And how y'all doing? Yes, again, Fred, thanks for having me, telling my story. My name is Russell Williams. I am a cook / chef. Been knowing Fred for about 30 years now, and I'm an ex-convicted felon that is still being punished for my crimes, so it feels at this time.
Yeah.
So
I
just wanted to get on here and tell my story, a little bit of what happened.
So Russ, right, and we always like to say we might have done that, but we not that, right?
Right.
And I know you're an outstanding citizen right now, and I don't say that with no drag. People know me, know I say what I mean what I say. He's an outstanding citizen today, right, regardless of what he did in the past. And, I'm really like, it hit me in my heartstring. So, Russ, tell me, okay, so give us the incident. Like, you was working, where you was working at, what happened?
So what happened was I was working at Canterbury Golf Club. This is the first part of the incident that I think it followed all up into this. First of all, they fired me because I had a hip replacement surgery. So we were laid off for 6 weeks before I even got the surgery. So to put it in perspective, we got laid off on February the 14th. I had the surgery February the 19th. So I tried to get unemployment. Unemployment took me through all of this because they felt that I was trying to get a medical instead of actually being laid off from my job is what I was trying to get unemployment for. Fast forward, Canterbury, we start back working in March 27th. By that, a couple of weeks after, I want to say in May, they fired me and said because I was collecting unemployment and still working at my job. So now I'm out of work from May to like June, July. I'm putting in applications. I put in an application for Giant Eagle.
Okay. So
Giant Eagle calls me. Well, they text me and ask me, can I come in, for an interview? And I go in for the interview. Everything goes well. The guy said, if everything's fine, he'll call me in a couple of weeks. I get the phone call to come in and say, can I start? I think this is around July 9th, July 12th, or somewhere in between, or if not sooner. Okay. So I'm there. I'm working. I'm in there. This is the job I wanted. All the applications I put in, cooking is what I do. Yeah. It's my passion. Yeah. But this was like a simple, at my age, just preparing food, frying the chicken if they came in with the orders, stuff like that.
Yeah. You liked it.
I wanted this job,
okay,
right? You know what I mean? I liked it. I wanted it.
Right.
So here it is 6 days later. I come in on my 6th day. I come in, and they tell me to go speak to the manager. He hands me a paper, and they say, I'm terminated. And I said, I'm terminated because, and he said, well, we don't really know. You have to talk to the HR person whose name is on the paper. As soon as I get home, immediately I call this HR person.
Right.
Now, mind you, when you start, because I was becoming a leader or a manager, so to speak, they give you your own HR representative.
Okay.
So I contacted her first, and I said, they just fired me, and they're not telling me why I got fired. So she said she would get back to me. She got back to me. She said, it's your background. Your background check came back with something on it. I said, well, why did they hire me if they never finished or my background wasn't completed? Oh, well, we can hire you, we can bring you on board, and then when your background is complete, then we can go from there to see. I said, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you hire a person and get them all thinking that this is his job, he's going to be here? You're lining up things with my landlord. Now, mind you, I'm already behind because I've been out of work for 2 months.
It's heavy.
And so she says, yeah, well, it was a background thing. We're checking more into it now. And I went and bypassed them. I called the background check people. Hire Right was the company. And I spoke to them, Hire Right. And they need to be looked at too because they're going above and beyond also.
Hire Right.
Hire Right.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah. And I called them and I spoke to someone and he said, we don't see anything on here that would have drew any red flag except you have a warrant, an active warrant in Indiana for a traffic ticket.
They ain't gonna come get you.
No.
For a traffic ticket in Indiana.
Right. So he said, but Giant Eagle asked to go further into your file, and that's how they came up and found out that you had the charge in 1997.
1997.
And I said, for real? So then I spoke to another.
Was it like, did you get charged with like poisoning people in restaurants or something? I mean,
no, that wasn't it. Right, that wasn't nowhere on my record. It wasn't had nothing to do with food or anything. And again, this is a supermarket. It's not like I got hired for a bank. If I got hired for a bank, then my case would, it would be. I could understand that, but not even 28 years later, I still couldn't understand it.
Man, we say that all the time. I'm like, if somebody got sex crimes or crimes against kids, I don't want you working at a school. But why can't you get a CDL and drive trucks? I don't understand it. So we fighting, me and Pete, to show some of the egregious nature of like just stopping people from employment.
Yeah.
So that's a great point you made. I'm glad. Come on.
Yeah. So finally, I called the ethics committee.
Oh,
I went as far as I went and called because they gave you the hotline and number and all.
You pissed?
Yeah, this is all in the same day.
You called the ethics committee in HR. You pissed off.
Yeah, I'm calling everybody. I said, can I speak to the supervisor of the HR department, ethics committee? This is grievance. I have a grievance, and I spoke to a lady, and she was like, well, what's the problem? I said, Giant Eagle hired me. I've been working for 6 days, but I get fired because of a 28-year-old case.
28-year-old case.
And I said, I've worked.
How long you been home?
I've been home 18 years.
You've been home 18 years?
Yes.
See?
Yes.
The governor.
And working.
Governor got a pardon program. I want to definitely see, because we're looking for people in Ohio that actually qualify. Part of the curriculum to be pardoned in Ohio with DeWine's expedited pardon program is at least 10 years from the completion of your probation or parole or sentence. You've been home 18. I've been home 26 years. So we got to look into that too.
Yeah, walked it down.
So what did the ethics committee say?
So the ethics committee say they asked me exactly what happened in my case in 1997. Right. So I explained to them
28 years ago.
It was an involuntary manslaughter, aggravated robbery. Okay. And a crime was committed in the due process of a robbery. I said I was with a guy and some things happened. Yeah. I said basically I wasn't even in the place. I was in the car. I was a driver. Yeah. I didn't even go in. And then the crime was committed and the man died and it unfortunately and it's been on my conscience. Yeah. It had been on my conscience for years. But the funny thing about my whole case, I got judicial release, which you, my brother, helped me with also, and I went in front of the judge and I never forget her saying to me, she was like, what made you do something like that at that age? I was 28 years old when I committed the crime. Yeah. And I was like, well, I said, I looked at it as being selfish at that time. Yeah. I took something away from my kids. I took my mom, she was sick. I'm glad she made it until I got out. But it was like, I did a lot of selfish.
But you did your time.
But I did my time. And the biggest thing was the family approved of my judicial release. Wow. The daughters of the man that got killed approved.
So they forgave you.
Yes.
And society
will not.
Permanent punishment.
Permanent punishment. Wow. I love the word.
So I got a policy expert. I'm calling you expert, Pete. Don't try to downplay what you are, right? Pete, how does that? Me and you talk a lot, right?
Yeah.
And you know I'm directly impacted, and you not. We always clap for people who ain't. Whew. But how does it land for you?
Well, I mean, it's a real story about where we looked at. We did that survey, and that's what's on the screen if we can see
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
we did that survey.
We're gonna put this survey on the screen.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear Pete, but Pete, can you kind of walk them through a little bit on the survey we did? And before this over with, we're gonna let y'all know. Go to policymatters.com. What's the
PolicyMattersOhio.org. It's down at the bottom of the slide. But we asked people what they do. We asked them a few just really short questions.
Yeah.
One of them was, what kind of work do you do? And 47% of the people who responded said they had W-2, like a regular job, like what you were trying to do at John Eagle, right?
Yeah.
Compared to like 71% of all Ohioans. So you can see like a lot of people are just trying to make ends meet, trying to find any job they can. It's not a normal job, like a quote unquote normal job like a lot of people can get, right? So that was one big difference.
Yeah. We getting kicked out. We're gonna have to just be all entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so that was like not even half had that, and then a lot of people were self-employed or unemployed. They had short-term jobs like construction, or they worked temp agencies, some Uber and stuff like that going on. So there was a real difference there in terms of what people are able to do because of exactly the same kind of things you're facing, right? And this goes back to Russell, your story too. Like, you had a job, you were working there, and you got fired because of your record. And
28 years ago.
Yeah, and
that he did his time for.
Yeah, and this was like, the 27% of people said they got fired in that situation where they had a job, they already started, and the conviction came up, and they got fired. But
alone.
even more,
better. But there's other people that, but they probably didn't even know to call agent. You did some, you're a pretty smart guy. You research.
Yeah,
but what about the person who, man, ain't that intelligent and don't know, like, I'm gonna call HR, I'm gonna go beyond HR and go to the ethics board.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna go to the people who actually filed who did the research. Man,
But the funniest thing of it all is, like, the lady just kept saying, she just kept standing on her 10, like saying, well, you didn't divulge it in your application. First of all, I done filled out hundreds of applications for the past 18 years. Okay. I've been taught how to fill out applications, how to do resumes, how to do interviews. So I've been given all of this, and I know over the years, the only thing that you put after you put it on your conviction on an application is, we'll discuss an interview. I've already had the interview. I already told what I told.
Did they ask you?
They didn't ask me nothing about no convictions at the interview. Not one time.
That's interesting.
And in the application, they did ask me, have I ever been convicted of a felony? I put, we'll discuss at interview. Okay. So, because I was going to a second interview after this application process. Here's the other crazy part. When I went back in, this is how smart I am. When I went back in to pull the application back up, because she told me that there was a paragraph in there that said, have you ever been convicted of any felony or ever been expunged from any record or juvenile? There was no paragraph. When I went back in to pull the application up to see if that was there, it was taken down out my portal.
Wow.
So they had already fired me and already knew that I would go back in there and probably try to see and check that out. The portal was pulled down because you get a portal that you can go back in and you can check on your hours. You can do all this stuff that you can do in this portal. And that portal was taken down that same day within a couple of hours, so I couldn't get back in and see that.
Now, Pete, you know for a fact, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, it is so many young folks, right, that got criminal histories that if that would have happened to them, they would have said in their mind, the hell with it. They wouldn't have went in that portal. They wouldn't have took the steps he took. They would have been like, man, I'm forced to go out here and sell dope or do something illegal because I can't get a shot.
No options.
They would just feel like they ain't got no option. They would have just said, the hell with it all.
And it ain't even got to be young. I'm old and I'm feeling that way. I'm behind in rent. I'm behind in everything. This has set me back. I keep trying to fight to come up, but that set me back, being fired from one job after the other. And then when I got a plan, I'm putting together things with my landlord, and then I got to call him and tell him I lost this job too.
Crazy.
It's like, I'm going through it too. I'm in my mind like, damn, what do I need to do? But like I told you earlier, it's like it's damned if you do, you damned if you don't. So if I went back out and committed a crime, y'all have been on my ass that much quicker.
We knew he wasn't. No, they gonna be like, I told you so.
Yeah, he was a criminal anyway. See his record. This is what he do.
But not the
know?
mitigating circumstances.
Well, and it just shows how stupid the system is. It's like you got a guy out here trying,
Right.
and he just can't get a break.
You know what? I ain't even gonna let it. I hear what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Pete. But I'm gonna make it personal. The system ain't stupid. The people that's in the system that we either vote for or don't vote at all, and they get elected, you understand, to control the system, they coming up with these ridiculous, non-equitable, you understand, laws and policies.
We got a president with indictments. We got a president that's messing with a rapist, best friends with a rapist. They done made a statue of these two kicking in with their feet up and clapping and laughing. This is our president that's in office, but I can't stay at Giant Eagle, a supermarket.
So is it different rules based on people who got power and people who don't?
Power and
That's
money.
a whole nother podcast. You know, is justice equally distributed based on people with power and people that lack it, right? That's a whole nother podcast.
Or the money to
So
do
I'm
so.
like, Pete, what we do with this? I mean, so Russ, you ain't know nothing about this survey,
No,
right?
no.
But obviously you see that this survey that Pete and Policy Matters and his amazing team, we met some others on the team earlier, man, they fighting on the front line for us and stuff like you going through right now, right? Like, I mean, man. So so let me tell you the strategy. We got to get as many people like yourself, family, friends, faith, people who care about you, right? Because they ain't even got to have a felony, but if they hear your story, which they gonna hear, because we gonna air it, right? And they know you're a good dude because you've been a good dude since you've been home, right? They should fill out the survey too, because them filling out the survey, some kind of way now in the world is all about data, and so we as Policy Matters to create the survey so we could get enough data to say that this is happening, this is to the scale that it's happening on, right? And then we're going to add some personal examples like Russ and a bunch of other folks. I got a young guy that got bonded over as a juvenile, Tasmon Taylor. He came home, want to get his life together. He applied for an online college. They accepted him into the college. Sent him a laptop, told him that this is going to be an immersive experience for you. We're going to help you on your journey. As soon as this record came back, probably through HR, they said, we sorry to tell you that we no longer can accept your application. After he was enrolled, and you understand, and they sent him a laptop and his business management books.
Isn't that something?
Okay?
Isn't that something?
Ain't that something?
Now, just the thing too, HR people are only people that went to school to got a degree in some kind of economic background or who are
It's the policy.
What are HR people literally control your life because they pull that rug up from under you like that.
Yeah.
Human resources.
Yeah,
But
but
that's not a human resource.
But a lot of times, watch this. I'm sharing. We educating the public right now, right? Me, and we got a lobbyist, Amanda, and Peter Witt with the St. Luke's Foundation. So in Cleveland they got community health workers, right? And they wanted my team to get trained, but I said, can they get hired? They're like, well, no, we can't hire you. I'm like, what? We ain't getting trained and we can't get hired, right? And so I looked it up. You can be a community health worker in other states, but in Ohio, you can't be a community health worker with a felony. So we went down to Columbus and met with the nursing board, and they voted 17-1 that it makes no sense. Most of the people that need community health workers will be more comfortable and relatable to people that have had a criminal background but have transformed their life around.
And come from the community that they live in.
I ain't talking about an active criminal.
Right.
You understand? I don't want no active criminal, you understand, working as no community health worker, nothing else, right? Criminals should be in jail. Or they should have something need to be, to get them back on the right track. I'm talking about people who done transformed their life, changed the way, moved out of the trauma that actually might have been a spark that made them do these things, right? They should be able to move on with their life. And you're a living example, Russ. It's unfortunate, man. I wish we had enough power right now to just change it. Yeah. But not having enough power right now don't mean that we can't build toward that, right?
Right.
And so, man.
So if this slide is up, we got the reports online still,
Yeah.
and that survey is still live. So I don't know if people can see it. but
Fill
there's
out this survey.
QR code there, and you can just fill it out.
Pick your phone up. You looking at the podcast. Fill out this, but if it ain't you that this happening to, I guarantee you it's somebody that you care about, a friend, a family member, a son, a nephew. And if it ain't happened to them yet, guess what?
It's about to.
It's about to. Soon as they catch that, and you don't have to be incarcerated to catch the felony. They can overcharge you, and you can be thinking, I'm coming home today. If I cop out to this, I can go home today. But they don't tell you that they're going to throw 3 charges out that should have never been on there anyway. And when you cop to that felony, you inherit the enslavement period. Because the 13th Amendment never abolished slavery. It created a clause where if you duly convicted, slavery is justified for you in America. This is what the fight looked like. I'm honored to have you, Pete. You doing the work. We all got a role to play, right? You got to tell your story because it's happening to you, and you ain't who you was 28 years ago. I got to get it out to the public. We need Watch to make sure, and OOC and our whole network, our comms team, we got to make sure this is digestible for people who don't know in every different aspect of our society. And we need people like Pete that's going to sit and look at the data, going to create the research so that we can say with clarity that this is the amount of people affected by it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we ain't no shortcuts.
No.
And guess what? Even though we're on 105 in the neighborhood where Superman was created, Superman is not coming to save us. So if we all we got, we better be all we need. Man, I'm just thankful for y'all being on this show. If y'all got any lasting things y'all want to say, please say it directly to that camera so the audience can hear you.
I just want to say, we got to speak up about these injustices. It took me a minute to get down here, but I already knew that I could come to this man and tell him. I should have came soon as it happened, and probably I could have had something done, with a lawyer maybe even.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna look into that too.
But we gotta stand up. We gotta speak up. We can't just let it go to the wayside. Anything that we do, we don't stand up and fight for it. It's at a loss.
Yeah.
If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. So that's how it goes with me. And I appreciate getting this platform because I've been telling it to everybody else, but I ain't getting it through the right channels. I'm sure it's happening. That survey should pop off because this is happening a great deal to a lot of us.
And comment on the podcast too. We want to hear your thoughts about this, your reactions, how you feel about it. And we're gonna start having where you can call directly in. But right now, when you see this podcast, when it resonates with you, let us know. Pete, you got anything you want to say?
No, just thanks for being here and the opportunity to do this work and support you guys because, at some level we're all impacted by this, right? It's not, you guys directly, obviously, but our whole society is messed up with this, how this is working, and it's just not fair. Doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. And for philanthropy out there, support Policy Matters because we need them to be able to have the tools and resources to help us fight because we on the front line. Fred Ward checking out. This is another episode of Count Time Now. It's time to be counted. My man.